Manufacturers, one of the industries most affected by Brexit, are taking action to set up foreign operations. According to a survey published on February 1st by business lobby group the Institute of Directors, almost a third of British companies are considering moving or setting up overseas operations because of Brexit. The IOD survey of over 1,200 company directors found that 16% had already decided to relocate or open operations abroad due to Brexit, while a further 13% said they were considering such plans. Over a quarter of large businesses have already taken action or will do so in the future, compared with 12% of small businesses. The finance, manufacturing and science sectors were the most affected, with a third of manufacturers planning to set up foreign operations. The European Union looks set to benefit the most, with 91% of those planning new foreign operations looking to set up in the European Union. It brings no pleasure to reveal these worrying signs, said IOD interim boss Edwin Morgan. Change is a necessary and often positive part of doing business, but the unavoidable disruption and increased trade barriers that no deal would bring are entirely unproductive, he added. It's not a no deal, but trade barriers are still there. Britain's MPs voted on January 29th to send Prime Minister Theresa May back to Brussels to renegotiate the unpopular divorce deal she struck with the EU last year. And then Boris Johnson came, and Brussels has ruled out any big changes to the deal, leaving Britain staring at a no-deal Brexit with only 56 days left until the official departure date, which led to the imposition of trade tariffs. And then we all know what happened then. Then extension after extension after extension, and it was really a dance on knife's edge. And Morgan warned that time the UK's hard-won reputation as a stable, predictable environment for enterprises is being chipped away. And he warned that time our political leaders must keep this in the front of their minds as we enter this critical phase of negotiations. And some 64% of IOD members export to the EU, compared with a national average of around 10% of businesses, although many more rely on supply chains dependent on the European Union. And where have we ended up? The British industry was not so much ramping up plans for no-deal Brexit, with companies reporting on February 1st last year sharp rises in both purchasing activity and stockpiling of inputs at warehouses. Brexit preparations were a major contributing factor underlying the trend in input buying activity in stocks of purchases, according to the Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index report released by information provider IHS Markit on February last year. Inventory holdings increased at the fastest pace in the 27-year survey history, according to the report. Businesses did their best to develop forward purchasing programs to avoid potentially disappointing clients and in case of a bad Brexit outcome, said Duncan Brock from purchasing body the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply. Supply chains were closer to breaking point, with stretched capacity and delivery times lengthening again for the 33rd month, and that was last year. This begs the question of how much longer suppliers can deliver and businesses can retain stocks for every eventuality, he added. And what happened in the end? We had several extensions. Theresa May was gone, Boris Johnson was elected. Then, still no majority in Parliament, a lot was really going on in no proper direction. Then we had the elections on December 19th. Then Boris Johnson negotiated with the EU for almost a year. And in the end, we have a provisional trade and cooperation agreement that is still not ratified by the EU because of the behavior of the treaty that came before. And we still have trade barriers. And the companies that were preparing it, wasn't so many companies that time, are still in trouble because there are trade barriers with third countries that won't go away. That was always clear that they won't go away with a TCA. And now they still are in trouble. I picked this video with the quotes from 2 years and 1 year ago to show where we are now, what everybody knew already a long time ago. And they all knew, even if they were talking about no deal, how bad this could be. But now we do have numbers, even if Corona is covering up a lot. But it shows that too few prepared, too few knew or wanted to know what really was going on. And that's where we are today. And those trade barriers will stay, no matter how long they will negotiate with the EU. As long as the UK is not part of the customs union and the single market, and I'm bringing that up because many are discussing that in the comments on some videos, the UK won't do that, because joining after the EEA and having the same contracts with the EU like Norway, that's something the UK won't do, because it would be worse than membership. The Norwegians decided to do that, but they are applying EU standards without having a say. And the main part of Brexit was diverging from those standards, was having the lone say about standards. And so joining the customs union and the single market is out of the question with this government, is out of the question for years. And to be honest, they would be stupid just to do that without joining the EU again, if there still is a United Kingdom, but we will see. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Auf Wiedersehen.